Fuck yeah. Perfect. Got it?
That's dope.
Tyler Ramsey, Painful Lessons Podcast. We own mistakes. Today, I want to address a mistake that I have made and hopefully help others not to make this same mistake. Now, a lot of times we go over topics like recovery from drug addiction, recovery from huge mistakes, maybe people that have been canceled for some reason, or really just heroes that had some stumbles along the way. Today is a little bit lighter. I found myself in the worst situation. So I have consumed more media than I'm proud of. I've seen more movies and watched more TV than really I'm proud of by half. That's a fact. So I was in this situation with my wife and kids the other night, and it just like drove me nuts. Here's the deal. All of a sudden, I had the full family's attention, and we were going to have this amazing movie night. And there was popcorn, and there was like a fire going, and blankets, and it was going to be spectacular. And then I found myself all of a sudden was like, "What are we going to watch?" Choking. I have so many opinions about this, but in that moment, I found myself choking, and we defaulted to like something that I did not enjoy. It was like we were watching like YouTube for a while. Like my son wanted to watch Minecraft videos about people playing Minecraft. And I could just feel the time slipping away. And I hadn't thought of anything that would make everyone happy. I have such different tastes as my wife, and obviously have different tastes as my kids. My son and I are pretty aligned, but what he's allowed to watch is limited. So I thought I made a little list. I'm like, I'm never going to be caught flat-footed again. It's never going to happen again. It's just never going to happen again. So I want to go through this list. And producer Jerry does not watch as much media as I do.
I don't.
But he's seen some movies.
I've seen a couple here and there.
He's seen some movies. Okay, so here's my list. Okay, so if you have the whole, I'm going to add, listen, by the way, this is in no way a comprehensive list. It's just something that I just thought of over like a day. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to be caught off guard again. So here it is. Okay, so if I have the family together again, Princess Bride is like a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
good call.
a no-brainer. Carrie Ools, however you say his name, Ewells, Mandy Patinkin, amazing actor.
You kill my father. Prepare to die.
What is Sean Penn's old wife?
Robin
Givens.
No.
That's Mike Tyson's old wife.
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright. I mean, you have this like amazing cast, and it's a great story. It still has stuck with me. And as I'm saying this, I'm reminded of The Never-Ending Story. What a great movie from the 80s. What a great movie from the 80s. You have this amazing scene with Falco, the giant flying dog-ish dragon thing that he was. Anyway, I could have pulled either one of those things out, and I would have been happy watching those things again. But instead, I watched something stupid. Okay, so I have another opinion. Something that's incredible is Scooby-Doo and Kiss are in a movie together. It's called like Scooby-Doo and Kiss, something like that. It's the most surreal cartoon you've ever seen. At one point, Kiss is teamed up with Scooby-Doo, and they're fighting aliens, and then they kind of end up fighting witches, and at one point, all this psychedelic stuff is happening.
It was the 70s, right?
It is the 70s. I think they shot it in the 70s, but It's like, at the very least, it's an homage to what was going on then. And it's not like hippie psychedelic. It's like rock and roll psychedelic. And it's suitable for kids. It's great. I've already pulled that out, so I didn't need to pull that out again. Okay, so those are no-brainers if you are with the family. Okay, so if you're not with the family, the movie Sahara with Matthew McConaughey, it's Steve Zahn, is spectacular. Sahara is like one of the best action movies. It's a fun ride the whole way through. Matthew McConaughey is like, he's in some kind of like military style thing where they, I don't know, it's like Navy SEALs, but for the ocean, you know, more for the ocean. They're in the ocean all the time. And they find treasure. It's an amazing movie. Sahara, I cannot recommend it enough. Matthew McConaughey is so incredible in it. It's spectacular. It's one of the best movies ever. It's like such an easy watch. Fifth Element with Bruce Willis and Mila Jonkovic or whatever her name is. Jonkovic.
Yeah.
First of all, Fifth Element is one of the best movies of all time by Luc Besson, who also came out with The Big Blue, which is a movie about depth divers. It's an amazing, by the way, Big Blue is one of the best movies ever too. Depth divers competing. They each go down lower and lower, and they're in all these incredible settings like Majorca and these incredible shots of the ocean. And Roseanne Arquette is in it. She wrecks it almost, but not, she doesn't totally wreck it, but she's awful. Awful.
Is she good in anything ever?
Wasn't she in True Romance? No, that's Patricia Arquette.
Patricia's great. Rosanna was in Finding Susan, that Madonna movie.
Oh yeah. That's such a dumb movie.
Yeah.
The Patricia Arquette though is in True Romance, which is one of the best movies of all time,
100%.
Hands down. Brad Pitt in his prime, Gary Oldman in his prime, just like, and it's about a drug deal that goes wrong. Christian Slater is the main character, and when Christian Slater is awesome, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He falls in love with a prostitute and has to save the prostitute from her pimp, who's played by Gary Oldman. And they just get in like shenanigan after shenanigan, and the music is incredible the whole time.
Only movie written by Tarantino that he did not direct.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, it was directed by Ridley Scott. Wait, the brother, the other one.
Tony Scott?
Tony Scott.
How do you beat that? So directed, I guess if it was probably, if Tarantino would have directed, it'd probably be incredible too. But Tony Scott, an awesome director. Tarantino, incredible writer. The cast, like every single person in the cast ended up having a magnificent career afterwards. Like the Michael Rappaport is in it. He's
Pitt.
Spectacular. Yeah, Brad Pitt is like one of his most amazing roles. He plays this incredible stoner.
James
Gandolfini couldn't be better in it.
Yeah.
I dated this girl that worked with James Gandolfini for a long time. He sounds like a monster.
Really?
Oh God, he sounds like a monster. So this girl that I dated worked for him. She was actually behind the chair in the scene of the pilot where he's talking to his therapist, reading his lines, telling him his lines.
Yeah.
So she was like, she knows. And then she ended up getting a gig for her friend, same gig she worked for Gandolfini. Both of them seem to have total PTSD from the experience.
I just have a quick Gandolfini story. I was in Manhattan in prime Sopranos time, and I was just walking in Midtown, and I rounded a corner, and there he was, Tony Soprano, and I literally had a visceral, and he looked at me, he was like, "The fuck's your problem?"
What's your problem?
And totally, no, he was playing the character because he
You
knew
really
that,
said that? Oh.
Yeah, he knew that I was arrested by his presence. It was really great.
Spectacular. What a stud.
Yeah.
He was almost going to be in The Office. He was about to play the boss from The Office after
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was going to replace the Michael Scott character.
I can't really see that.
It would have been so fun. I think it would have been,
a totally different thing for sure.
The Office is, that's another, it's like if you can't think of anything to do. My wife, if we ever can't think of anything to do, she'll just go, let's watch another episode of The Office.
You ever watch the Ricky
I've
Gervais
seen
one?
Every single one. Of course, I've watched the Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais series. It's incredible. Yeah. It's so much sadder though.
Yeah, well, everything Ricky does has a
like this
tinge of
really
sadness.
depressing.
Yeah,
yeah, it's amazing. That's what makes it so funny. What a genius that guy is.
Yes.
Oh, here. Okay, so let's see my list. Oh, True Romance. I actually had that. Oh, Ready Player One. That's if you have kids and you're like, I can't. It's Ready Player One. That Steven Spielberg virtual reality movie.
Yeah, that robot was so cool.
It's so fun. They have one of the best battle scenes of any movie, and it's like Godzilla and all these characters from Chucky. They bring in all these things from other shows and things from the 80s, and into this one huge battle. It's incredible.
It's a really good movie. It was so hyped that I just didn't think it could live up to it, but it's actually a good movie.
Miles Teller.
Wow, I forgot about him in there. Yeah.
Miles Teller got a movie, or no, Miles Teller replaced Armie in a role that Armie had booked, which was about Mario. It was about the Godfather.
Yeah.
It was the true story about the Godfather. It was a series. And Miles Teller replaced Armie when he got canceled. And then Miles Teller was on SNL and like took a jab at Armie, like made a crack in some prank. Do you remember that?
No, I never saw it, but all that stuff used to piss me off so bad.
It wasn't that. It was an okay joke actually, but it was a decent sketch. It was a game show for celebrities, and they were given like they were sent texts or something, and they would win like a fortune if they just kept from replying in a way that was atrocious. That was the game show. And I was like, and like really they asked Armie, like it was like, "Hey, how you doing? Are you up?" to Armie, and then he was like, "I want to eat you."
Yeah.
That was the joke. That was the gas. Yeah. SNL is getting better again. It was a little rough, and then I think it's getting a lot better.
I haven't watched it in a minute. I'll have to tune in.
Okay, what else is good? Old episodes of Baywatch are really hard to beat, but that's not a real suggestion. I just worked on Baywatch, and I think that it's great to watch old episodes of Baywatch. If you like war movies, if anyone likes war movies, don't waste time with just watch Thin Red Line, Terrence Malick.
Killer.
It's one of the most incredible. Talk about everyone in the movie is A-list, like incredible actor. Woody Harrelson, George Clooney, the dude that played Jesus in Passion, James Caviezel, let's see who else. Nick Nolte. I mean, I could go on and on. Adam Brody or Adam whatever.
I mean, crazy lineup.
Dude, it's like it's a long movie.
Long movie.
I would never want to watch a movie that long except for this movie. And maybe Braveheart. Braveheart's kind of long.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect movie.
Braveheart never seems long. Thin Red Line can be long depending on the mood, but I just wanted to point out some trivia that Hans Zimmer scored both Thin Red Line and True Romance.
Hans Zimmer scored True Romance?
Yeah, he did that cool,
oh my word,
eclectic, like it was kind of like a reggae kind of vibe.
That is awesome. Did you know that Saudi Arabia hired Hans Zimmer to redo their national anthem?
That's funny.
Dude, one time I went to Saudi Arabia. It's one of the greatest trips of my whole life. And it was I was a +1 of Army's. He was invited on this like influencer thing.
I kind of remember you guys going.
It was the most unbelievable trip.
Didn't you get some shit for going?
We stayed with the royal family. Oh, actually, the royal family put us up. We got a ton of shit for going. We got back.
The royal family, no, Army's Jewish.
We got back. I feel like they were cool. Dude, you know what I was really surprised? It's like you hear that they have all these problems with gays, and there were tons of gays with us. There were tons of Jews with us. There were tons of like, it was a very rainbowish coalition.
I feel like the royals make their own rules. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they sort of say, yeah, the Quran is the truth, blah, blah, blah. But
there's probably some hardliners that are not down with the gays or the Jews or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like anywhere else, but the royal family seemed to be all about what, they just wanted, it's like they just wanted a cool event. And so they had this this group of influencers.
By the way, you can't have a cool event without gays and the Jews.
You can't have a cool event without gays and Jews. That's totally true. Yeah. It seems insane right now what Kanye is doing.
Yeah. It's gotta be for publicity, right? Like,
I'm so ashamed. I voted for Kanye for president. Like was it 6 years ago? Something like that. I voted for Kanye. It was kind of a joke, but I thought I still did.
Was it a protest vote or just like
it was a protest? I didn't like either candidate. So it was a protest vote. And I couldn't be, I mean, what an incredible maniac that he is. I just went to his site. There's his shirts with swastikas.
Yeah. It just feels like a publicity gag.
I was positive everyone was joking about it, but it's like, talk about, no one's ready to joke about that.
No,
nobody's ready to joke. I mean, I love jokes, and I think I really love dark jokes and offensive jokes. I love offensive jokes. That still is a little fresh, and
it's sort of like
what's going on now that the Israel and the Jews are already getting a rough punch in the face from every direction right now, and to stir it up more is crazy to me.
I feel like people of a certain group can joke amongst themselves, or they can make the jokes, but it's sort of like white people using the N-word. You know what I mean? Like you don't get that privilege, right? And people of
no one's ready to hear white people use the N-word yet.
And Gentiles don't get to make Jewish
get too comfortable.
Yeah, you just don't get to.
You can have got a bunch of black friends, but don't get too comfortable.
No, never drop that N-word.
That is the wrong move.
Nope.
Man, you're like, God, dude, these guys are gonna love this joke.
There's no joke funny enough.
These guys are gonna love this joke.
I think Tarantino's the only one that gets away with using it, and they still. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who's not a person of color. Anybody really likes that he does it.
We have this guy. I'm in this recovery group, and on this chain, and this one white guy.
Oh God.
I'm like, he just started. You can just tell. I'm like, I think he's having a relapse, and he seems like he's really warming up to some risky jokes.
Oh man!
I'm like, don't do it. I'm just thinking to myself, as you see each text come in, don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it. Yeah. That's the best. One of my favorite things about recovery is that occasionally, I mean, it's sad, occasionally someone has a relapse, but also it's so entertaining because every now and then someone has a relapse and you're like, oh man, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
This one dude.
There's a painful lesson to be had upcoming here.
What?
There's a painful lesson coming here.
Hey man, you got a painful lesson coming at you. This one dude is like, no one here. Hey, has anyone heard from this one guy? Has anyone heard from this one guy? And then like his location is showing up in San Francisco in the Tenderloin.
Oh God. Oh no. Tenderloin.
Oh man.
Yeah. He's off.
Like deep bathhouse.
Yeah.
Deep Tenderloin. Oh geez. It's gonna be another couple days.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Dude, it's the best. I like a little bit of drama. And I wish I won the best, but it's like, it's kind of lovely to just have a couple guaranteed slides of drama each month.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But it's great because it's definitely funny, but it's serious, and it's filled with people who would drop whatever they're doing and rush if they can lend a hand. And there's no one you can count on more than dudes in a recovery kind of thing. And like right now, if I needed someone to drive me to the airport, I would be hard pressed to find somebody. But if I put it out in my recovery thing, hey man, I might relapse. Can you pick me up and take me to the airport?
Wow.
They would do that.
Maybe I should use that. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I have this buddy, or I shouldn't say his name. I have this buddy that I've been wanting to come over to look at my this like extra apartment that I have in my house that's not permitted, and I want to figure out how to get it permitted. And I can't. He's so reliable, but I can't get him to come do this. And I sent a message. I'm like, I think I'm gonna drink, and he's instant. What do you need? Hey, and I go, I feel bad. I was just joking.
Oh, shit. Don't cry wolf there, bro.
No, you don't want to cry. Well, the thing about wolf, you can't cry it 3 times. I think that was
right.
you can't keep
That's
crying.
The role. Yeah.
So I didn't do it 3 times in a row because then that's when the wolf comes. Wait, is this? I think I just have got this out of my system that I wanted to. Oh, dude, you know what is a great family movie? It's like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Great.
That is the greatest.
Such a fun soundtrack.
All 3 movies, greatest soundtrack in the world. James Gunn. There is someone, if I have a wish list, it would be to get James Gunn on this podcast. I idolize the guy. Okay, I don't idolize him. I want to be. I don't want to be an actor in all of the movies that he makes. I want to be in the movies he makes. And because he puts these characters together and the friendship and the camaraderie that they build is, there's nothing that gives me FOMO more than like the fun that the Guardians of Galaxy have together, or like the camaraderie that the misfits in Suicide Squad 2 have by the end of the movie. Who, by the way, one of my favorite actors in the world is David Dastmalchian, and he plays Polka Dot in Suicide Squad 2, and has one of the best deaths of any movie ever. Anyway, James Gunn, anything he makes is spectacular.
I'm embarrassed to say I have not seen Suicide Squad.
Dude, Suicide Squad 1 was not made by James Gunn. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
With Will Smith, who's amazing in pretty much everything he does. But Suicide Squad 2 is a romp. It is so fun. But Guardians of the Galaxy, like what James Gunn will do to Superman, I can only imagine. And trust me, I'm going to be the first person. I'm going to make certain that I see that in the theaters, because I don't know. Somehow that guy just, with his soundtracks and his whatever he does to a movie, it makes me want, I'm just like, I want to be in the movie the whole time. I'm just like, I can't, it's when the movie's over, I'm just like, oh man, I'm not in the movie anymore. Jeez. That of all people, I think he would be one of the because I know that he's sober also. I think he would be one of the most number one guests. If you know James Gunn, I'd like him on the podcast.
He's probably in one of your groups. You said he's sober, right?
He's not in a group of mine.
Okay.
I don't know him. I know people that know him. The problem, here's one issue with this podcast is like, and it's kind of a problem that I have with art also, is that you're on the sell side. I'm trying to sell. It's an ask. I'd like you to be on my podcast. It hasn't gotten big enough where the return on publicity for the movie you're shooting or whatever is going to really pay off. So I think I provide a great interview. I mean, I think it's a great interview. I really think I show a great side of people. It's like I'm so if I ask someone to be on the podcast, I usually probably love them, and I'm excited to talk to them. But it is an ask, and with art, all art also is like, hey, will you come look at this art or come to my gallery? So there's an ask there, and so at one point, my wife and I started a charity. That was a cool charity, and we helped some people, but it was an ask that and I didn't want. I'm like, this. I don't like another thing in my life where I'm making an ask.
The thing about Hollywood is you have a finite amount of asks.
You have a finite amount of asks,
favors, and you got to save them because at some point you really need some favors, and so you just
true.
Yeah, but I think. Have you ever thought about just finding, when you're thinking about these kind of asks, like integrating your art and like maybe involving them in the creation of some art? And so like the podcast could be, I'm just totally off the top of my head right now, but like somehow making it there an activity as well. So if they're into art, maybe it's a creation kind of thing. And then you sit down.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a thought.
Like offering them a piece of art.
Or no, do it together or a co-create or I don't even know.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, like
maybe I get my
you and James Gunn like coming up with a poster for.
Oh, dude, I would be so excited about James Gunn.
Yeah, I don't know, just a thought.
I've been. I mean, I feel like Josh Brolin will be on the pod. He said that he'll be on the podcast soon.
Is he paint?
Is he what?
Does he paint?
I don't know if he paints. He does everything else.
Yeah, he seems like a Renaissance guy. So
he just came out with this book that's amazing. Under the Truck is what it's called. It's one of the coolest books I've ever. It's a autobiography, and it's told in a non-linear way. It is dope. It's so dope, and honestly, it's so unexpected. And he's a total book nerd, and I was like blown away by how different it is. And his stories, I thought he was going to just tell stories about like the Goonies or which I would have been all for.
Yeah.
But dude, he's got this mom that, like he had a really tough upbringing, which I didn't know was so tough. And then he's a champion in recovery, like a champion. He came up with this phrase, punk rock sober, that I use it all the time. And when I was struggling to get sober, I heard it from him. And it was exactly the tweak in perception that I needed to feel like I wasn't giving in, but I was going for something that was actually more like punk rock.
Yeah, just you weren't conforming, you were actually.
I wasn't conforming.
Yeah.
I was going for more
and
a more radical thing. And I needed that at the time. And in many ways, I felt like it was like one of the pieces that I was missing. I'll always be grateful. Josh Brolin, I don't know if he thought of it, punk rock sober. I've like tried to, I'm so passionate about this phrase, and I have sponsees that I've told about this same thing. It blows them away too.
Yeah, it's great. It's very colorful. It's very descriptive.
It's amazing how much golden advice and information is in recovery. There's so many great phrases. I'm completely blanking in this moment. But man,
no, I hear you.
Amount of wisdom.
I hear you guys drop them all the time, and it makes so much sense.
It's incredible, and it's a lot of it's like Stoic wisdom seems to be a huge influence. Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius. You kind of I hear a lot of these same ideas. You can't control what's happening to you, but you control how you respond to it. I mean, it's a better world. The other thing that AA is so great about doing is that, which sometimes I kind of forget, which is that they're like, dude, none of you are speaking for us because we don't want all the screw ups that would inevitably come to turn anyone away that needs help in the future because, some idiot actor is like tries to be Mr. AA or something. I try to say programmer, or I try to be vague as much as possible. But they've created one of the most perfect like things where it's still as pure and hasn't been polluted or corrupted. It's incredible to me. It's incredible. Okay, so also all movies by the Avengers, or like all Avengers movies, are spectacular. All of them. All of them. They're all great. Of course, if you can't figure out what to do and you have kids, just watch any Avengers movies also. I feel like
Have you ever seen one of Christopher Nolan's earlier works called The Prestige?
no.
Oh, watch it tonight.
Okay, I will.
It's incredible.
Is it about magicians?
Yes.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I'd like Christopher Nolan. I like all the Batman movies that he made.
Mhm.
They're incredible. But the Avengers movies also have something that it's the same reason I like James Gunn, is that the movies are like they create this group and they're misfits at the beginning, and then by the end, like Iron Man is making jokes with the Incredible Hulk, and he's making jokes with Thor, and they're all friends and they're working together. And by the time the movie's over, I am so bummed that I am no longer with these friends that I've made over the course of the movie. It's the best thing about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I felt that way when Sopranos ended.
You did?
Part of me died along with Tony. Yeah, I loved it.
I didn't get as into Soprano. I'm aware it's awesome and I loved the episodes, but I didn't get like knee deep into it.
I was way too into it, and then realizing this last holiday that I have some mob history in my family just kind of blew me away.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah.
The HBO movie that the HBO series that I really love is called Rome. And it's awesome.
Came out around the same time, didn't it?
Yeah, it came out around the same time. Apparently it's like costs a fortune to make too.
Yeah.
And that's a great movie because it's really about like Julius Caesar, and it's about all this stuff, and it's done really well. Really well. Great music. Great movie. Ray Silverton.
Oh my God, Jamie Foxx crushed.
That guy's name is.
Yeah.
Did you say Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, he was Ray. If we're talking about,
you're saying,
you think about Ray Donovan?
Movie Ray, yeah. Movie Ray's great. Jamie Foxx is amazing. So I'm not going to be caught flat-footed again. This is my list of movies, and I wrote it down so that the next time my whole family is together and we're like, let's watch something, I'm going to be ready. So, but I have two other just tiny pieces of, if someone says, have you seen anything interesting on YouTube lately? These are things that are interesting. Okay. There's a nature video. It's the greatest nature video. It's the single greatest nature anything that's ever been made. And this is what it is. This is just, I'm not even going to explain a whole movie, but this is a clip from this BBC series. If you YouTube Iguana versus snakes,
it's great.
You will see the most spectacular thing where this iguana is born on his first day. He comes out of the sand and he's like, what's the deal with this world? And he wakes up in a land filled with snakes, hundreds of snakes. And he has to make it from his, like wherever his egg hatched and he has to make it from there all the way to, I don't know, like a rock that the snakes can't reach. And so it's like a real journey, and they follow him in like 5K or 7K or the highest K video quality. They follow him, and snake after snake goes after him. And he has like brothers that get eaten along the way, sisters, whatever. They get eaten along the way, but he makes it. And at one point he gets caught and he gets twirled there. This snake twirls him around, and another snake turns, and it's this giant snake ball. And you're like, he's done. He gets out of it and he makes it out and he lives. It is one of the greatest pieces of media you could ever watch. And you have to Google or YouTube search iguanas or iguana versus snakes. That's my tip. Okay.
Real quick, have you ever seen Snoop Dogg narrate that?
Oh no, I've seen the Snoop Dogg narrate it. It's great.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's amazing. So yeah. Oh, you can get it where Snoop Dogg narrates it.
On Jimmy Kimmel.
It's pretty spectacular. Okay, so the other thing is, this is crazy. What is this woman's name? Okay, so there is a woman, and her name is Dalia Dippolito. Got it? She was this woman, or she's still a woman. She hired a hitman to kill her husband. And it turns out that the hitman wasn't a hitman. He was an undercover cop. And he has video of her trying to hire him and offering him money. He has the whole thing on camera. So then, just to make sure that the whole case is going to be jammed shut or whatever, like closed, he also has the husband who's in on it disappear. And they tell her that her husband has been killed. And they even get news reporters, fake news reporters, to go to the scene of the so-called murder. And they show her acting, oh my God, I can't believe he's dead. I can't believe he's dead. Then they go and they take her to the police station to give her statement. And they go, just so you know, that guy is an undercover cop. And this woman, like, I think the word gaslight is overused. And anytime my wife says I'm gaslighting her, I'm like, that's a made up word. But this situation, she gaslights everyone. And she goes, that I wasn't even doing that. I just want to talk to my husband. And she finally talks to him, and she's like, this is so crazy what's happening. And he's like, I've seen the tape. And she's like, oh my gosh, you don't understand. Anyway, she completely lies forever and tries to pretend that none of it happened and just gaslights everybody. And at one point, her main defense, she claims that she thought it was a reality show, that she thought she was on a reality show the whole time. She didn't even know she was being recorded half the time. Anyway, that's her name. And if you ever want to just see the most bizarre thing, it's on the top of my list.
Sounds cool. I've not seen it.
It's great. Oh, my friend Walter's coming. Okay, cool. Hey, listen. So painful lessons. Don't get caught in a situation where you have a moment to watch something with your family or your girlfriend or whatever, and you like spend the whole time searching through Netflix because then you're probably gonna get stuck watching something you don't want to watch. So like, come preloaded. And is this a life lesson? Probably. Thanks. Oh,
Didn't cut. Keep going.
almost forgot. The sponsor is the Los Angeles Dream Center. They do so much for everyone, and like people that are screwed from the fire, they have been helping and giving money to, and going to help them find wedding rings in the ashes of their homes. And like, there's an organization, it's called the Dream Center, dreamcenter.org. They take in homeless people. They take in people who are like victims of child trafficking and sexual trafficking, all that. They do more for the community and the world than anyone else. So if you want to like hook someone up that's like doing amazing things, dreamcenter.org. Peace.